And welcome back. Welcome back to Shut It. How you doing? How you guys doing? I'm here as the world is on fire. I'm here to deliver dumb news of the week, and that's why you're here too. I hope so. I'm so glad you found this. I'm so glad wherever you are in the world that you found Shut It. This is our 62nd, I think. Yeah, it's our 62nd episode. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. Whatever platform you're seeing me on, please tell your friends, tell your family. We all need to chuckle at Dumb News of the Week. This mom's unique parenting style only has one rule. A mom of four, Jerry Lee, has a unique style of parenting, claiming in numerous TikTok posts that her only rule in the house is, guess what it is? There are no rules. That's right. She has no rules. Mother of four, no rules. This means limitless snacks and screen time and no obligation to help with chores whatsoever. Thanks, Mom. I want to be her kid. A recent clip she posted about her policy has attracted 10 million views and 16.5 thousand comments because, as you can imagine, it's very divisive. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm your mom. I'm not going to mother you. That's a quote. That's what she says to her four children. And the children are not old. They're not like teenagers slacking around on their phones. They're babies. No rules for babies. Okay, she sounds disturbed. As for mealtime, Jerry Lee's policy is equally loose. I'm happy to cook 4 separate meals if I need it. You don't have to finish what's on your plate. That part I get. But cooking 4 different, no, you cook one dish, and if you don't like it, then don't eat it. They can snack whenever they want, and you don't have any rules. You can't go in the cupboards, or you can go in the cupboards and the fridge whenever you want. You can just stuff your face, kids. Lastly, Jerry Lee claims that there's no routine the kids must stick to. Screen time on any device is unlimited, and bedtime doesn't exist. Oh my God. In fact, Jerry Lee admits that half the kids pile in with her and sleep in her bed. And she doesn't mind that. Okay, Jerry, are you on drugs? Like, what's going on? You're on some medication here for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the TikTok clip, shall we?
If you don't like it, don't eat.
She sounds like Adele. Just imagine this is Adele with 4 kids in a crappy little, I don't know where she's living, but it's not looking nice. It doesn't look like a place where Adele would live, but just imagine this is Adele, because this is a dumb shut it. I'm just gonna say it. Look, they can't all be winners, okay? So I'm trying to heighten this podcast with a little extra. So let's pretend it's Adele.
I will happily cook 4 different meals for 4 different people. I don't mind. I have girl dinner every night. I barely eat. I forget to eat. So if you guys want to go get snacks, go get as many snacks as you want. Snacks are unlimited. So you don't have any rules. You can go in the cupboards, in the fridge, whenever you want. Screen time, unlimited. Have as much screen time as you want. Bedtimes. We don't have daughter's room with me. Well, I tell you about.
Come me deep clean me daughter's room with me. What's that accent from? Do we have any British people here watching this? Let me know. Is that from Devonshire or Yorkshire or Shire or Worcestershire? Ba-dum-bum. This is ridiculous. It's a slow news week in terms of dumb news. I'm going to say that. But I really do think the New York Post is lacking on content. I think that they literally just took a TikTok and wrote verbatim in the article what she said. You're not doing your job. Give me that job. I would do an interview with her on a TikTok. I would interview her here. The kids are small. I think they need direction when they're that small. I think when they're a little bit older, okay, you can have screen time or whatever, sleep when you want. But when they're that age and they have to get up for school in the morning or whatever they go to, she probably homeschools them. Anyway, yeah, you need a bedtime. That's the one thing that I disagree with is the bedtime. You need a lot of sleep when you're young because your brain is all developing, your body's growing, everything is growing. And if you don't go to bed and get at least minimum 8 hours, I'm just going to say it's probably more like 12 at that age. I'll put a picture up of how they're babies. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you raise your kids like a fraternity house? Are you just like, whatever, dude, I'm your mom. I'm a cool mom. I'm your cool. It reminds me of that Amy Poehler scene in what's that movie? Mean Girls. I'm a cool mom. I'm your best friend. Do you want a drink? That was hilarious. That was a funny movie. But yeah, are you a cool mom? Do you let your kids just sit around the house and sleep whenever they want and snack whenever they want and make 4 separate meals for your children? If that's you, are you okay? Maybe you need to see someone. I'm not so sure if that's the best way. I don't know. I only have one, and I really make sure the bedtime is a priority. All right, let's read the comments. Okay, Erin Marie says, you are doing a massive disservice to your own kids. Do you dislike them that much? Because you're not going to live forever. So once you're gone, they cannot fend for themselves and they have 0 friends because no one enjoys hanging out with spoiled rugrats. No jobs because they have no sense of responsibility or self-respect. No education. All right, Erin. It's not, okay, that's a bit extreme. I think you're overreacting. I'm going to say it, Erin. You're intentionally handicapping them. If you love them, raise them to become self-sufficient adults. Okay. Post Toasty says, no wonder these kids can't do simple tasks or chores. Oh, he's saying like any kid? Okay. And Brian M says, this is basically child abuse. Does she actually think this is good for them? Does she have any idea what kind of adults these kids will become? They will have no friends, no significant other, and won't be able to hold down a job. He's just like Erin. You guys are pretty harsh. Frank Morrow says this article failed to mention that this family lives in a lunatic asylum. And Mike's wife says kids thrive with structure, rules, and expectations. Adulthood is going to be a real shocker for them. I kind of agree with her. Brian M. again, he says, can't wait until they go out in the real world and something doesn't go their way. Okay. And then LOL says, man, I feel sorry for those future adults. And Ruth Wagner says, what happens when they go to school? And YS says, you can imagine having to be roommates down the road with one of her children. Good thing she's told them they can live with her forever, because I sense they're going to need to over and over and over. And the great and powerful Oz says, wait until these children become undisciplined adult monsters who've never been told no. And SE says, oh, trailer park chick. Do they have trailer parks in England? I wonder if they have trailer parks in England. Child who never learns no becomes an awful adult. Okay, these are dumb comments. I don't know. I think there should be rules. I think there should be definitely some rules as for eating and for sleeping. For cleaning, you got to do bare minimum. Because I know it's so hard. I mean, unless you're really a tyrant and on them all the time, it gets exhausting to tell them, pick up your clothes, do this, pick up the thing, do that, pick up the thing, do that. I mean, from my experience with, I think eventually the child will get sick of their disgusting room and they'll clean it. Or a friend is going to come over and they're going to be so embarrassed that they'll have to clean it. That's my experience. But hounding all the time doesn't really work. It's just tears and resentment and just a lot of drama. Eventually, they'll clean it. I'm talking about older kids, not these babies. I mean, the babies are not going to clean their babies, but learning how to put your toys away after you play with them, yes, I agree. You should totally do that. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Are you a no rules mom or dad out there? I'm already bored with it. Let's move on. Because I can't take it anymore. I can't take this boredom. I'm going to move on to a different dumb news article of the week. All right, this one is really, really dumb and kind of relevant. Ready? Millionaires are hosting the world's first sperm race. That you heard that right, sperm race at iconic venue, complete with leaderboards, commentary, and replays. That's right. This time, it's good to finish fast. That's the tagline. Move over, Belmont Stakes, an enterprising startup, has announced the launch of the world's first sperm race, in which samples will go head-to-head in Los Angeles to raise awareness about declining male fertility. The unusual contest was organized by Sperm Racing, a group of young moguls and millionaires who raised over $1 million to back this veritable Kentucky Derby of creative juices, and takes place April 25th at the Hollywood Palladium in front of thousands of spectators. This is a real thing. 2 competitors, 2 samples, 1 microscopic finish line, declared Sperm Racing boss Eric Zhu. In his race manifesto, the teen tech entrepreneur, of course it's a teenager. Of course it's a teen tech entrepreneur, billionaire, millionaire. The goal isn't to elicit sophomoric giggles, but instead to turn health into a competition and make male fertility something people actually want to talk about, track, and improve. Okay. So they're gonna get 2 sperms and then have a microscopic lens on them and see which one makes it to the finish line first. And they're raising millions of dollars for awareness of men's fertility. Meanwhile, the orange elephant in the room is revoking all of women's rights. I don't know. I think your time could be spent doing something a little bit more, a little bit more helpful to the cause. You know what I'm saying? This is not the cause. This is not what we need right now. Read the room. Okay? You got to read the room. We do not need a sperm race. We need a race for, democracy. Saving the Constitution. We do not need a race for these children, these trust fund tech children, to host a sperm race at the Palladium in Los Angeles, California. I think you've got your priorities wrong, but let's read on the article, shall we? I'm getting a little angry. I know, I do that sometimes. Whichever one crosses the finish line first, as verified by advancing imaging, will be declared the winner. How fast will the winner finish? It's yet unclear, but based on sperm's real-life speed, the race could be over in a flash or last well over an hour. Okay. The swimming speed of a human sperm is fluid in approximately 5 millimeters per minute. So theoretically, these fun-sized Michael Phelps could swim through the cervical canal in a matter of minutes or hours. And they drew like a diagram depicting the microscope. Okay, it looks like a 4-year-old drew this. It looks like the person who has no rules. I think these are the people who grew up with, these tech bros. These are the guys who grew up with no rules because they have millions of dollars to spend, and they're spending it on, which sperm is the fastest? It's like a giggling little 6th grader. Little fantasy come to life. End of days is what I'm trying to tell you, people. The stakes have never been smaller or bigger, joked Zhu in a statement. To make the spectacle more cinematic, these microscopic sea biscuits will have their every move tracked by high-resolution cameras and live streamed for fans. Of course, you can live stream anything. You can watch it. You can watch it live stream on TikTok next to a live stream in the Middle East. What's happening over there? There'll be also play-by-play commentary, leaderboards. What is a leaderboard? And even instant replays while spectators are encouraged to wager money on the race, much like a real-life competition. Okay, so people are going to gamble on the sperm. We're building a market where fans can pick their favorite competitors to see who's crossing the finish line first. Whether it's athletes or celebrities, imagine backing your icon in the weirdest, most entertaining event you've ever seen. The zoo assures that sperm racing isn't just a joke, despite being hilarious. These are his words. Rather, the event was much like a marathon for breast cancer awareness, created to shed light on the issue of declining male fertility worldwide. For science. Okay, all right. So I guess he's saying fertility for men is down, which is an issue. It's a real thing. But I think I'm going to say it again. The priorities are very, very confusing to me. Because in order for you to actually have any intercourse, you would have to have a willing female to do that with you. And if you're an organizer of a race like this, I think there in and of itself makes you the most undesirable person on the planet. If you, let's say, were on a date with a said female and it was the first date and you were like, tell me a little bit about yourself. And you're going back and forth and you're saying, and she's like, I am, I work for the, I work with children. I work with, I help elementary school kids with reading and writing and arithmetic. And she says, what do you do? And he goes, well, I organized the California sperm race back in 2025. And right there, that's cutting off all fertility. Right there, as soon as those words come out of your mouth, you are infertile in this woman's eyes because she is not going to sleep with you. Sorry. You don't know that because you're a child and you had no rules like this lady in Britain, this Adele lady. No rules. Okay, son, you want to do this? All right, you can take the Ferrari. Okay, you can take the Porsche. All right, you want, okay. Oh, you're doing a little contest at the Palladium in California? Sure. I'll write a check for you. No rules. Yeah, this is hilarious. Anyway, between 1973 and 2018, the concentration of sperm among men worldwide dropped by more than 50%. Blah, 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 blah. This is not science facts, by the way. I'm reading this from the New York Post. So this is not fact check. This is hearsay in my book. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's been blamed on a variety of factors, including obesity, sedentary lifestyle, smoking, exposure to certain chemicals, and pesticides. Okay, we need to go see the comments. Bay J says, just when you thought you've seen everything. And GC 1993 says, maybe we should focus on improving the quality of life, education, affordable housing, healthcare, etc. I agree with you 100%. And Pedro Gonzalez says, sorry, I can't come. And Oliver K says, the killer asteroid can't get here soon enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a case of too many yeses to these kids, to these man children. Too many yes people. Mom, Dad, I'm bored. Can I have this? Sure. Okay. Do you think these teenagers or, 20-year-olds, tech kids, do you think they're really that interested in raising awareness of men's fertility? I don't. I think this is a ruse. I think this is a good way to scam people out of money. This is like a fundraising. They're going to take all the... You think they're really going to give it to researchers, which don't exist anymore, by the way? They're going to hand over the money from that event, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, here you go, scientist. Do some research with this money. No, they're going to pocket the money. It's a guise. Anyway, what do you guys think? I think this is so dumb. I really do think these are the end of days. Sometimes I look at the real news in the world, and then I have to just take a little vacation, a little break, a little mental health break, and read dumb news. And it seems to me that the dumb news is getting even dumber. I would like you to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have some friends who are like, oh my God, the world is on fire. We are losing our minds as a society. The world economy, blah, blah, blah. Everything's going crazy. I highly suggest you invite them to Shut It, to my podcast. And say, hey, you know what? There's this lady on YouTube or Spotify or Apple. She talks about dumb news, and it might take a little weight off your shoulders. You know what I mean? It might be like, some people like to listen to like true crime podcasts. I I would suggest dumb news podcasts. I would suggest my podcast. So, as a gift to one of your overly worried friends, rightly so, by the way, I am one of those people. I think you should take some reprieve, send them a link to this or any of my episodes and just say, look, this lady, she checks out. She checks out. She really does delve into dumb news. And it is the dumbest that you'll ever find. I don't think anybody's doing it like this. I think I'm the only one. Probably not, but the only one I know of. Yeah, so if is anybody out there thinking of donating to this sperm race in California? If so, why? Are you worried about male fertility at this point, right now, at this very moment in history, in civil rights history, human rights, rather? Let me know why in the comments. That would be fun.